Another day of practice wrapped up here in Oxnard, California, now joined by starting quarterback Dak Prescott. Dak, I mean, overall, you look at off season, it's been one where going back to 2017, it's really the first one you haven't had outside storylines. I mean, contract talk, the pandemic. You talk about, I mean, even you being an injury or having that injury back in 2020. What is it like to get back to football again?
Yeah, it's a blessing. Football's always been where I find my peace and always been a safe haven to me. So, as you said, not having any other distractions around or having to answer questions about a contract or about an injury and feeling healthy and feeling in the best shape of my life, yeah, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be out here on this field and just in training camp with my teammates, doing what I love and trying to get better daily.
Now, you're entering year number 7. Has it really settled in yet? I mean, you just celebrated your 29th birthday. I mean, that you're no longer one of the young guns in the league. I mean, you're an established veteran and somebody who really a lot of people look up to.
No, 100%. It's definitely set in. And when I look in the locker room and you talk to guys like Zach Martin and Terrence Smith, a few guys that were here before me, DeMarcus Lawrence, you realize how quick it turns over. So you have to reflect on the time when 6 years ago when I was just trying to make it out here and ended up becoming the starter to be 7 years later. Yeah, it's honestly where I want to be in life. Being able to be an inspiration to help young teammates to make sure that they're in the right space mentally and taking advantage of each and every opportunity. As I said, it doesn't last, so I'm blessed for every moment.
Have there been any conversations like that with some of the younger guys? I mean, whether they be rookies, second year, third year guys, that you've kind of been able to lay it out on the table and say, hey, listen, this is where you have your opportunity, take advantage of it?
Yeah, I think a lot of those conversations just happen naturally, happen at lunch, happen maybe at breaks in between practice with maybe another quarterback or a receiver here and there. But as I said, anytime that I can help a young guy out and just make sure that they understand the magnitude of this opportunity and where they are in this life, it's important for me to do.
One of your biggest goals is to get 1% better every day. You talk about it often, you go to that, and you talk about just getting better. You're also a lesson learner at the same time. So while you're teaching those lessons, what have been some of the ones you've learned yourself over these last few years?
I mean, I've learned a ton. Every time that I'm in a conversation, I feel like I get out just as much from that conversation as I'm trying to give, and I think that's important. It's important to be able to teach, but at the same time be able to listen. And I know I'm not the smartest guy in the world, so I'm one of those people that want as much advice and much knowledge as he can get.
How much are you putting pressure on yourself when you do have so many of the young wide receivers around you that you do have to kind of grow that room and grow that passing game yourself? How much responsibility do you put on yourself for that?
Yeah, I put a lot of responsibility. I don't think of it as pressure, rather than that's my role and that's my obligation as the quarterback and as a leader of this team, is to make sure that I'm making others better, and especially that receiving core, especially my unit, but as well as I take pride in having the relationships that I do with the guys across the ball, because we need them in season, and there need to be times that we can have conversations in game and be able to lean on each other and know that, hey, it's time to really lock in and get this job done.
It's really the first time you haven't had a wide receiver, a go-to guy that's actually been older than you in your wide receiving core. Is there another year where you could really compare this to in terms of trying to grow the guys around you?
I mean, I go back to college, honestly. My last year in college when, I was the older guy, and at times I felt like a coach speaking to some of the younger guys. And as I said, it's a blessing, though, when I think about it and reflect on being going into my 7th year in the league and having a young stud and superstar like CeeDee Lamb and just young, great players that are going to contribute and going to be a huge part of this team, just being able to invest so much into them and create a chemistry that is going to last for not only this year but for years to come.
Is there somebody that the media isn't necessarily talking about that we should be talking about on this roster?
Yeah, there's a few guys, honestly. There's a few receivers. And yeah, to name one, it'd be a disservice to the others. So I think they'll make a name for themselves pretty soon, and that's something that I tell them, honestly, is, hey, I give them nicknames and I tell them I'll call you a real name, when you've established yourself, and they take that as a challenge, and they come out here each and every day to get better and to prove themselves, and they've been doing that these first few weeks.
Who are some of the established guys with nicknames already that you've already put out there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you've got CeeDee Lamb, you've got Dalton Schultz, you got Sean McKeon, a guy that's really stepping up. Tony Pollard, a guy that can do it all, from running back to receiver to returner, whatever you need that guy to do, he'll step in and do that, and he's going to be a big playmaker for us.
Last one before we wrap things up. What would a successful 2022 look like for Dak Prescott?
Yeah, Super Bowl. When you play for this organization, when you play for this team, that's the goal. Each and every year, you know that. That's what I put in my head. That's the only goal I care about, are wins, winning the division, and making a run in the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl.
There he is, Dak Prescott, taking some time with us. Thanks so much.
Yep, thank you.
Appreciate you.